Welcome to Mindful Healing, the channel that helps you reflect on the deeper truths of life, mindfulness, and philosophy. Buddhism teaches that silence is not just the absence of words. It's a profound tool for self-discovery, emotional control, and spiritual growth. In silence, we hear the voice of wisdom, the echoes of clarity, and the true sound of our own being. Yet many of us fear silence, thinking it's a sign of indifference, weakness, or discomfort. But the truth is, silence can be the most powerful response in life's most crucial moments. Today, we're going to explore 5 key situations where staying silent is not just advisable, it's essential. These are moments when choosing silence over words can help you avoid regret, nurture peace, and deepen your connection with yourself and others. These 5 Buddhist teachings are not just lessons. They are practical guides that can transform your life and the way you interact with the world, with wisdom and serenity. We will uncover the power of silence in managing anger, staying away from gossip, resolving conflicts, showing compassion in the face of suffering, and dealing with your own pain. Throughout this journey, we'll share real-life stories, Buddhist insights, and practical applications that you can use in your everyday life. Stick with us until the end of the video, because what you're about to discover may forever change the way you see silence. Let's dive in. Number 1. Silence in the face of anger. In Buddhist philosophy, anger is considered a negative mental state that arises from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. It is one of the most powerful and difficult emotions to control. When anger takes over, we may say things that hurt others or act impulsively in ways we later regret. Anger doesn't just affect our minds, it also takes a toll on our health, increasing stress, anxiety, and even harming our relationships. But there is one simple yet incredibly effective method for controlling anger: silence. Why should we stay silent when we're angry? 1. Avoiding regret. When we're angry, our words often become weapons that wound others. Once the anger fades, we may deeply regret what we've said or done. The problem is, words spoken in anger cannot be taken back. By staying silent, we give ourselves a chance to think before we act, preventing irreversible mistakes. 2. Creating space for self-reflection. Silence allows us to pause and observe our emotions. It gives us time to understand the true source of our anger. Is it really because of what the other person did, or is it because of unresolved emotions we've been carrying? When we take the time to reflect, we can handle the situation wisely rather than reacting instinctively. Of course, it's easier said than done. So let's move on to the most important part: how to control anger with silence. We'll break it down step by step with a real-life example so you can see how it works. 1. Breathe. When anger arises, instead of reacting immediately, pause and focus on your breath. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a few seconds. Exhale slowly. Repeat this process 2 or 3 times, subtly enough that others don't notice. This helps relax your nervous system, slow your heart rate, and instantly reduce stress. 2. Observe your thoughts. Ask yourself, why am I angry? Is my anger justified, or am I reacting based on past frustrations? Often we get angry over small things simply because we are already stressed from something else. When we take a step back and analyze, we might realize the situation isn't worth such a strong reaction. 3. Respond with understanding and compassion. If you must respond, choose words that heal rather than harm. A calm, kind response often resolves conflicts more effectively than a harsh reply. The goal is not to win the argument. The goal is to maintain harmony and inner peace. 4. Redirect your attention. When you feel anger rising, shift your focus. Take a walk. Listen to calming music. Write in a journal. Talk to someone who brings positive energy. By distracting yourself, you prevent negative emotions from escalating. 5. Remember that all emotions are temporary. Like all feelings, anger will pass. If we can remain silent and let it subside, we often realize that what made us angry wasn't as significant as it seemed in the moment. A real-life example. Imagine this. You're in a meeting with your colleagues. After presenting your ideas, a coworker suddenly criticizes you harshly in front of everyone, using a condescending tone. The room falls silent. All eyes turn to you, waiting for your reaction. At that moment, you feel anger rising. Your heart starts pounding. Your hands clench into fists. Your mind races with thoughts of firing back with a sharp comeback, or even using the boxing skills you've been practicing for years. But instead, you decide to apply the 5 steps of silent anger control. Step 1. Breathe. You take a deep breath in, hold it for 3 seconds, and exhale slowly. You repeat this process a couple of times, subtly so no one notices. This instantly calms your body and mind. Step 2. Observe your thoughts. Am I angry because my coworker is actually wrong? Or am I reacting because I feel personally attacked? Often anger doesn't stem from the situation itself, but from how we perceive it based on past emotions. Step 3. Stay silent and observe. Instead of retaliating, you pause. You watch your colleague's face. You observe the reaction of others in the room. When you remain silent, your coworker may realize they were too harsh. Others in the room may see you as calm, professional, and in control, rather than reactive and hot-headed. Your silence gives you space to choose a thoughtful response instead of an emotional reaction. Step 4. Respond wisely. After a few seconds of silence, you speak calmly. I understand your perspective. It seems like you disagree with my idea. Let's analyze this together and find the best solution. Why don't you share your approach first? This response turns conflict into collaboration, diffuses the tension in the room, shows maturity and professionalism. Step 5. Let go of the anger. After the meeting, instead of holding on to resentment, you take a short walk, drink a glass of water, shift your focus to something positive. This simple act prevents you from carrying anger throughout the day. The power of controlling anger with silence. You avoid saying things that could hurt others or damage your reputation. You maintain your composure and professionalism. Your coworker may realize their mistake and adjust their behavior. I've been in this situation many times, and I can tell you, this method works. But most importantly, you feel lighter, more at peace, instead of letting anger ruin your day. Many people believe that staying silent when angry is a sign of weakness. But in reality, controlling your emotions is one of the hardest and most valuable skills you can develop. Remember, no one can make you angry unless you allow it. When you stay silent, you are in control, not your emotions, not the situation, not the other person. Every moment of anger is an opportunity to practice mindfulness, and every time you choose silence over impulse, you get one step closer to inner peace and happiness. Number 2. Silence in the face of gossip and slander. Rumors are like a strong wind that sweeps away dry leaves, carrying them far beyond anyone's control. In Buddhism, mindful speech, one of the 8-fold paths to enlightenment and peace, emphasizes the importance of choosing our words wisely. When we choose silence in the face of gossip and slander, we not only protect others, but also shield our own minds from negativity and bad karma. Why should we stay silent when hearing gossip or slander? 1. Preventing harm to others. Words have immense power. When we engage in spreading rumors or speaking ill of others, we are not just harming the person being talked about, we are also contributing to the spread of negativity. False rumors can ruin reputations, cause stress, and even push people into despair. 2. Avoiding negative karma. In Buddhist philosophy, every word, action, and thought creates karma, a ripple effect that shapes our future experiences. If we spread harmful words about someone, we are planting seeds of negativity that may one day return to us. Think of it this way. If you spend time with people who openly gossip about others in front of you, chances are, when you're not around, you become the topic of their conversation. Number 3. Upholding integrity and ethical speech. Buddhism teaches right speech, which means our words should be true, kind, and beneficial. Before sharing anything about someone else, ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? These are powerful and essential questions. Practicing silence in these situations helps us develop greater mindfulness, deeper listening skills, and a habit of speaking only when necessary. A story I want to share with you. There was once a woman in a small village who carelessly spread a false rumor about her neighbor. Later, she realized the damage she had caused and, filled with regret, she went to seek guidance from a wise monk. The monk handed her a bag full of feathers and told her, "Take these feathers and scatter them across the fields." She did as instructed and returned. Then the monk said, "Now, go and collect every single feather you just scattered and bring them back to me." Confused, the woman replied, "But that's impossible. The wind has already carried them away." The monk smiled and said, "That's exactly what happens with gossip. Once spoken, words spread in all directions beyond our control. No matter how much you regret it, you can never fully take them back, so always be mindful of what you say. This story is a reminder that once words are released into the world, they can never be fully retrieved. No matter how much we wish we could undo the harm, the damage is already done. How to avoid gossip and slander. 1. Before speaking about someone, ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer is no to any of these, silence is the best choice. 2. Redirect the conversation. If someone starts discussing another person's faults, you can say, "Let's focus on the good things they've done, shall we?" If the conversation turns negative, try telling a positive or uplifting story to shift the energy in the room. 3. Practice inner silence. When you hear something about someone, don't rush to believe it or form an opinion. Take a step back and observe, listen carefully, and evaluate objectively before making any judgment. Every word we speak carries weight. We have the choice to use our words to build or destroy, to heal or to harm. So let's choose our words carefully. Speak only when necessary, and remember that sometimes silence is the best response. Number 3. Silence in conflict. Conflict is an inevitable part of life, whether in personal relationships, the workplace, or society. Disagreements arise from differences in perspectives, needs, or emotions that haven't been fully understood. However, it's not the conflict itself that creates problems, it's how we respond that determines the outcome. In many situations, silence can be a powerful tool for resolving conflict. It creates space for understanding and finding appropriate solutions. Instead of reacting impulsively, staying silent can de-escalate tension, prevent arguments from escalating, and help us avoid saying things we may later regret. Why should we stay silent in conflict? 1. Preventing escalation. In arguments, we often feel the urge to respond immediately, using sharp words to defend our viewpoint. But when both sides raise their voices and refuse to back down, the conflict only grows more intense. One of the main reasons conflicts spiral out of control is a lack of listening. When we're angry or feel hurt, we're often more focused on making our point than truly hearing the other person. When you choose silence, you send a signal that you are willing to listen and understand. This not only helps you grasp the issue more clearly, but also calms the other person, making them feel heard and respected. A short story I want to share with you. One day, 2 monks were arguing over a philosophical matter. Each was determined to prove his perspective was correct, and neither would back down. Their voices grew louder as they fiercely debated. Meanwhile, their master sat nearby, completely silent, watching them. After a while, the 2 monks turned to him and asked, "Master, who do you think is right in this debate?" The master remained silent, looking at them with a calm expression. Moments passed, and suddenly, both monks realized something profound. If no one speaks, there is no argument. They stopped, reflected, and understood that not all debates lead to truth. Sometimes, they only fuel more division. This story highlights an important lesson. Silence is not avoidance. It can be a way to end unnecessary conflict when it no longer serves a purpose. How to stay silent in conflict. 1. Practice active listening. When someone is angry or upset, instead of immediately countering their words, focus on truly listening. Here's how. Nod or use eye contact to show you're paying attention. Don't interrupt. When they finish, instead of instantly reacting, repeat what they said to ensure you understood them correctly. 2. Avoid immediate reactions. If necessary, say, "I need a moment to think about this." It's better to be late in responding than to say something you'll regret. If you must speak, choose your words carefully. Ask yourself, will my words help solve the problem? Will they hurt anyone? Are they necessary? If the answer is no, silence is still the best option. 3. Know when to walk away. There are times when a conflict cannot be resolved in the moment. When a discussion reaches a deadlock or becomes too heated, it's best to step away temporarily. You can say, "I think we should continue this conversation once we've both had time to calm down." 4. Reflect on yourself. After the conflict is over, take time to reflect. What can I learn from this? Did I unintentionally hurt the other person? How can I handle situations better in the future? The illusion of winning in conflict. A basic human instinct in conflict is to believe that the person who speaks the loudest or the most aggressively wins. But in reality, it's far more complicated than that. Unless you have overwhelming power to force others into submission, being louder doesn't make you a winner. Instead, it creates more enemies or attracts insincere people who flatter you out of fear. But you lose those who truly stand by your side. The power of silence. We don't always need to speak to defend our views. Sometimes silence is the strongest answer. It helps us stay calm, listen deeply, resolve issues wisely. So next time you find yourself in a conflict, pause, stay silent, and see how much clarity it brings. Number 4. Silence in the face of suffering. Buddhism teaches that when witnessing the suffering of others, silent presence can be the greatest expression of compassion. By staying silent, we not only avoid saying things that might unintentionally hurt them, but we also create a safe space where they can freely express their emotions without fear of judgment. Why should we stay silent when witnessing pain? 1. Respecting their pain. When someone is suffering, what they truly need isn't empty encouragement or advice they're not ready to hear. They need space to feel, to grieve, and to heal. Silence lets them know that we acknowledge their pain without trying to minimize or dismiss it. For example, when someone has lost a loved one, they don't need to hear, "Time heals everything. You need to be strong." While well-intended, these words can make them feel pressured to move on too quickly. Instead, silent understanding can make them feel truly respected in their grief. 2. Creating a safe space for emotional expression. When people are in pain, they often need a space to express their emotions freely. Some need to cry, some need silence, some need to share their story. By staying silent, we give them permission to feel without fear of being judged or interrupted. Many of us have a habit of immediately trying to fix the situation when we see someone sad. But the truth is, not everyone needs a solution right away. They just need someone to be there. How to practice silence when witnessing suffering. 1. Be present without offering solutions. Instead of rushing to give advice or encouragement, just sit beside them in silence. 2. Comfort through nonverbal language. A gentle hug, a compassionate look, a nod of understanding, a warm hand on their shoulder. These small gestures can mean more than 1,000 words. 3. Respect their healing process. Everyone copes with pain differently. Some need time, some need conversation, some need solitude. Don't force them to feel better immediately. Be patient and give them space to heal in their own way. The power of silent compassion. Witnessing someone else's pain is never easy, but the most important thing is knowing how to be there for them with true sincerity. We don't always need to say something to make them feel better. Sometimes, silence is the language of compassion, understanding, and true love. So next time you see someone in pain, try staying silent. Listen with your heart. Be present in the most genuine way possible. Number 5. Silence in the face of your own pain. In life, no one can escape moments of suffering. It could be loss, failure, loneliness, or even pain that has no name. When faced with pain, most of us instinctively seek distractions, avoidance, or validation from others. We want someone to tell us that everything will be okay, that we are not alone, that the pain will eventually fade. But Buddhism teaches that silence in moments of pain can be the most powerful healing medicine. Instead of running away, sit with your pain, listen to it, observe it, and allow it to become your teacher, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of yourself. Silence also brings us many benefits. 1. Encouraging self-reflection. Pain, when listened to, reveals important lessons. It can show us what we need to let go of. It can reveal what we need to change. It can help us understand what we truly desire in life. 2. Healing. Healing doesn't happen when we avoid our emotions. It only begins when we have the courage to face them. When we sit in silence with our pain, we are no longer its victim. We become its observer. Imagine standing still and allowing the pain to pass over you. You will realize that it cannot drown you forever. 3. Connecting with inner wisdom. When the mind is no longer distracted by worries and judgments, our inner wisdom finally has a chance to speak. The strongest people are often those who have learned how to sit with themselves, even in the most difficult moments. How to face pain with silence. 1. Practice daily meditation. Spend at least 10 to 15 minutes a day sitting in silence, observing your emotions. If you are suffering, don't run from it. Sit still and simply observe it. Focus on your breath. Feel the pain arise, move, and slowly fade away. By practicing this regularly, you will realize that emotions are temporary. They do not define you. 2. Write it down. If your emotions feel overwhelming, write them out. Writing helps you recognize your feelings more clearly and allows you to release them without needing validation from others. 3. Accept impermanence. Buddhism teaches that everything in life is impermanent, including pain. Even if today you feel like your world is falling apart, remember, this feeling will pass. 4. Give yourself permission to rest. Don't force yourself to be strong immediately. Allow yourself moments of rest and gentle self-care. Take a walk in nature. Listen to calming music. Sit quietly and take deep breaths. Do things that bring you comfort without forcing yourself to move on too quickly. Pain is an inevitable part of life, but how we face it determines whether we grow stronger or remain trapped in suffering. So next time you are struggling, sit in silence, listen deeply, and allow your pain to teach you. We've explored 5 key situations where silence can become a powerful source of strength and wisdom. From controlling anger to handling conflicts, from avoiding gossip to showing empathy in the face of others' pain, and even when confronting our own suffering, silence is not a passive act, but an active choice. It allows us to take a step back, reflect, and respond with deeper awareness. If anything in this video resonated with you, take a moment to breathe, reflect, and embrace the quiet wisdom you've gained today. And if you found this content helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mindful Healing to continue exploring mindfulness, personal growth, and Buddhist teachings. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you find peace in silence, wisdom in stillness, and healing in every moment of reflection. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay mindful, be present in every moment, and may your path be filled with light and serenity. Let silence be your teacher, your refuge, and your path to true peace.